I'd like to ask you, what are you most grateful for right now? How about leaders, Brother Bo? How can leaders show gratitude to their employees and vice versa?
When anything goes right, the leader must go to his team to say thank you. When anything goes wrong, the leader must say, this is something that I have to take responsibility for. One of the rules I've learned about leadership is you've got to praise in public and correct in private. So when you praise someone, do it publicly. Like make it a big thing. Like, staff number 6, just want to tell you you're amazing.
What does gratitude mean to you?
You know what? It's funny. I call it the antidote to everything. It's the medicine for any kind of malady that you're in, whether it be depression, whether it be anxiety, whether it be confusion.
Welcome to the Fearless Possibilities Leadership Podcast, where we explore powerful stories and insights from world-class leaders to help you unlock what's possible in your life and leadership. I'm Sha Nacino, speaker, author, and passionate believer in the power of human connection. Hi, this is Sha Nacino, your host for the World Gratitude Summit, and our next guest is a best-selling author of over 50 books. He's one of the most sought-after and most respected speakers in the Philippines, and he's also my mentor. I'm so pleased to introduce to the show Brother Bo Sanchez. Hi, Brother Bo.
Hello. Thank you, Sha. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Thank you for being part of the World Gratitude Summit.
Yes.
So today, Brother Bo will talk about how gratitude leads to generosity. I know one of your favorite subjects is to teach people how to serve, things like that.
Yes.
So, but before that, I'd like to ask you, what are you most grateful for right now?
Of course, if I want to go deep, it would be my relationship with God. He's the source of all my blessings, the source of all my joy. He's the meaning of my life. He's the purpose of why I wake up in the morning. But if I also teach people to be grateful for the small things, because that, I believe, is a game changer. And so I'm grateful that I woke up this morning. I'm grateful that I could talk to you and you're here. I'm grateful. I'm just grateful that I can serve. So.
Thank you. What does gratitude mean to you?
You know what? It's funny. I call it the antidote to everything. It's the medicine for any kind of malady that you're in, whether it be depression, whether it be anxiety, whether it be confusion, whether it be for many people it's just a lack of fire, a lack of joy, or whatever. It's amazing how gratitude can actually be the antidote to all of these things.
Wow, so that's how important gratitude is.
Absolutely.
So how does one know that he is truly grateful? Let's say someone is suffering from depression or sadness or anger, and then he's trying to be grateful, but how does he know that he is already being grateful?
We need to differentiate. The moment you say depression, there's what you call clinical depression, and that will take a long time, and that will. And some of these things need intervention through doctors and medicine, actual chemicals in the brain. There is an imbalance, so I don't want to touch that. Okay, there is a need. However, there are overlaps. That there are other types of depression, quote unquote. When people say I'm depressed, I actually went through something like that about 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years ago, my mom passed away, and then there were so many problems in work. Like I just I just woke up one morning not wanting to get up, and I had this desire just to put the blanket over my head and saying, no more. No, I don't want to see light anymore. And there was this desire in me just to call it quits in everything that I was doing. And I think what happened was that I was burned out, didn't realize that the passing of my mom had such a huge impact. And because my father passed away years before that, and parang okay naman, no? I was able to handle it. But I guess When a mom passes away, there's this special bond, and so what it went on for about 4 months, and even more than that. I had this dark cloud over me every day, but I just kept on holding on to gratitude. Just saying thank you every day, even if I didn't feel like thanking him. I just did it. I did other things.
Yes.
I reach out to friends. And I had these most wonderful friends who knew what I was going through because I told them.
Yep.
And it's very, very important if somebody's going through whatever I had, they need to tell their friends. But friends who they can trust, and friends who will be able to help them. So, but definitely gratitude was a game changer for me, because I just kept on looking at the small blessings. What happens is, remember the usual analogy that people give: white piece of paper, black dot. We focus on the black dot,
Yes.
and then we enlarge the black dot, so we don't see the piece of paper, the white piece of paper anymore, just the black dot. But what gratitude does is it actually magnifies the white in the paper, so much so that you don't deny that there's a black dot, but it's not anymore big. It's a small black dot.
Right.
There's so much white there, and so little by little I became better and better.
So gratitude gives you a better perspective.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what I appreciate about you, Brother Bo, is your vulnerability and authenticity, because sometimes when people suffer depression, or maybe not clinical depression, but the depression or sadness, maybe they think, what's wrong with me? But you are a leader, you're very rich in your spirituality, you're very emotionally mature, but you still experience that. So this gives hope to people that when you're suffering something like that, it's just temporary, and hold on to gratitude, and you'll get out of whatever situation you're in.
Absolutely. It goes. People who think, oh, you're too close to God, it won't happen to you. No, everybody goes through it.
Right.
And so when you realize that, you say, okay, I'm normal.
Yes. And people are able to relate to you as well. That's why you, as a speaker and an author, when you write something, your woundedness before becomes your message, and people can say, if Brother Bo was able to experience it and he was able to get out of it, then it gives me hope that I can also get out of it.
Amen.
So, Brother Bo, how can gratitude lead to generosity?
When you think that what you have is only very little, you will not be generous. But when you take on an abundance mindset, admittedly, my mom had a scarcity mindset. She grew up in the Japanese war, and so she would always think that resources are very little, very scarce. But the amazing thing about my mom was that she had gratitude. She had a deep relationship with God. And so it was a tug of war. She had a scarcity mentality, and yet she was grateful. And you know what? She was generous. So there were people who would come to the house, and this would be this relentless number of people coming to the house asking for help, and she would always be giving. And so that kind of because I'm that I'm a financial teacher.
Yes.
And one of the first steps I tell people is have an abundance mindset.
Right.
Because that really unlocks. But the way to have an abundance mindset is really imagination and looking at how abundant God is and all of that. So, but reflecting on my mom's experience, I think it was gratitude that made her generous, even if she did not have an abundance mindset yet, in some form or another. She believed that God is generous to her, and she just decided she wanted to be grateful. So that made me think that if you want to be generous, you need to have really this sense of, thank you, Lord, that you're blessing me today. Thank you that I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. And then it will lead you to generosity. I think when somebody is not generous,
Mm-hmm.
you can almost be sure that person is not grateful.
So amazing what power gratitude has, right, in our
Yes.
life. So they say that we cannot give what we do not have. So
Yes.
that's why it's very important to have a very healthy self-love.
Yes.
So what is your advice to people on to us on how we can love ourselves better?
Number one, you need to look at your needs. In fact, I advise people to get a piece of paper
Mm-hmm.
or your laptop or your phone. Write down what are your needs. And then actively, I would even want to use the adjective, the adverb, aggressively
Mm-hmm.
meet those needs. You're care for yourself. Have an aggressive care for all your needs. Meet them. You're an introvert, for example. You
Yes.
need alone time. You
Yes.
know that you get restored and refreshed when you're alone.
Mm-hmm.
So get your calendar and say, okay, when will I do that? When will I have my alone times every day? Even just for 30 minutes, even just for 1 hour. Let me have that alone time. Longer alone times once a week. Longer alone times once a month. So just you need a massage. You know that on a particular day of the week you're so exhausted. Okay, pamper yourself learn to care for yourself. That's number one. I really believe
I
it's
love
number
that.
one. Number two is being able to label yourself with the right labels.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people who you've got to look at your self-talk, because that's your most important conversation you'll ever have next to your conversation with God. So what kind of self-talk do you have? So loving yourself means declaring your truth. That I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful, I'm awesome, I'm a child of God, God loves me, God has a plan for my life, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I'll just stay with those two things. There are a few more, but yeah.
Amazing. Is there a favorite self-talk that you do, and how do you do your self-talk?
I love every morning. I love saying that I'm God's beloved.
Mm-hmm.
That for me is my how do you call it? It's my keystone. It's my capstone. It's my cornerstone. It's the foundation of my life. So I love saying I'm God's beloved. I'm God's beloved. I wake up in the morning and I ask God to embrace me. And that's been something that's been there.
Okay. Can you share with us, Brother Bo, more of what you do in your morning routine and then in your evening routine? Because I believe it's so important to set the tone of the day in the morning with your morning routine and before you sleep at night, so you'll have a good sleep.
Yeah. So prayer in the morning when I wake up at 6, and then I walk. So exercise is important, but then I walk with listening to some Bible studies and some scripture homilies, and I love that. I just love walking. So I'm getting sun, I'm getting exercise, I'm getting oxygen, but I'm feeding my spirit. For me it works. I mean, some people do other stuff, but for me that really works. And after that, I go home, spend time with my wife, the boys if they're there, and then go to work.
Which is at home, or sometimes you have meetings?
Yes, mostly. I'm a writer like you, so it's really alone time. So whether it be at home or in a coffee shop, it doesn't matter. And then of course the meetings.
Yep. How about at night before you sleep?
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
So this is Gratitude Summit. So that's what I do. I kind of like review. Sometimes people reject a solution because it is so, for them, simplistic. It's like, you just ask before you sleep, what am I grateful for? Yun lang. I said, absolutely, it will change your life. So simple. So for some people, they write it. Sometimes I write it. Sometimes I just like reflect and inhale and meditate on how good God is. So, and it doesn't have to be long. Again, so it must be what, 45 minutes? Oh, it's just a few minutes. It could be 3 minutes. It could be 2 minutes. But it's so simple, and but it doesn't change your life like right when you do it. But it's like vitamin C. It's like, over time. It's like exercise. After 6 months of doing it every night, your whole perspective changes.
Right. So, Brother Bo, what are the gratitude practices that you can recommend to people?
Yes.
So that they can be more grateful. So let's take it step by step. For example, how can a spouse be more grateful to his or her spouse, and to the children, and how can the children be more grateful to the parents as well?
Yeah, one of the things I was honoring my wife. She is someone who likes saying thank you for the little things, and I love it. I love it that when I do something for her, she just says thank you and says it well when I talk to, and then my sons kind of like got it from her. So my sons they keep on saying thank you for the regular things, for the little things, and if there's one thing that I had a little dialogue with online, about the secrets of little things in marriage. That if you want to have a great marriage, it's the little things, and one of those little things is actually gratitude towards one another. The ratio is 1:5 for every negative remark that you do, every negative expression that you do. Sometimes rolling your eyes, when you exasperation towards your husband or towards your wife. That's a negative expression. When you're aware of that, counteract that with 5 positive expressions.
Okay.
You know how important that is? There's this marriage consultant, marriage counselor who made a study that within 10 minutes of observing a couple, he can predict with 92% accuracy whether that couple will get a divorce.
Oh my gosh.
Or will continue. And he said, it's accurate. I can't predict. Then give me 10 minutes with a couple, I'll know. And he said it all boils down to 5:1.
Okay. Wow. So there's an actual
He
study.
said if he can count them. He can count negative expression, positive expressions, negative count. If the tally is 1:5.
Good.
That couple will last. It's wild, right?
Right. Yes.
It's wild. So if he sees the couple saying thank you to one another often, like really, it could be so simple things as the husband, the wife telling the husband, thank you for working, thank you for going to work, I can imagine how difficult your job is, but you do that for us. Thank you so much. So, it's wild.
Yes, that's true. I remember whenever I would go home to the province, I would thank my father for what he's doing, and I didn't know that it has a huge impact on him. For me, it's just just being grateful, but it has a huge impact on him. And I could also see when he would talk to his colleagues when he had his birthday, he was so proud that we were grateful to him. As simple as that. So amazing what gratitude can do.
And that ties in with your other question, is that when children are grateful to parents, you don't know what a humongous gift that is to your mom and your dad. It's like for kids, my kids love doing that. They keep on telling me, Dad, thank you for spending time with me, or thank you for being who you are. They love doing that, and I just think, wow, I'm the richest man in the world.
Because of gratitude. How about leaders, Brother Bo? How can leaders show gratitude to their employees and vice versa?
When anything goes right, the leader must go to his team to say thank you. When anything goes wrong, the leader must say, this is something that I have to take responsibility for. So usually it's the other way around. The leaders, when something goes right, the leader says, that's me. And when something goes wrong, what happened? what's wrong with you? You know, you actually have to invert it. Great leaders, that's the rule. That's the rule. Something goes right, you did a team. You're amazing. You're fantastic. And one of the rules I've learned about leadership is you've got to praise in public and correct in private. So when you praise someone, do it publicly. Like make it a big thing. Like, you know, staff number 6, just want to tell you you're amazing. You know, to everybody. Like everybody knows. You know, this is because of this. You did this. You did this. You did this. But if it's something that you need to correct, halika, dito tayo. You know, you do it privately. You want to call it a coaching session. You know, I want you to be better. And I want you to improve in this area because you know you have a long future ahead of you.
Amazing. How about employees towards their employers?
Well, that's kind of like easy to misconstrue as flattery.
Yes.
And you don't want that, but you'll be amazed how a sincere thank you will actually make the leader appreciate that you're someone who has malasakit. Employers are looking for employees who have a heart for the business, a heart for the company. One of the ways is actually that just staff who goes up to the boss and actually says a very sincere thank you for a specific thing that the leader is doing, whether it be, you know, boss, it's amazing how you have a vision, or you know, sir, thank you for. So you don't want to step overboard to flattery.
Yes.
Flattery is actually, people can spot flattery, but it's pretty obvious. You know, you just want something, or you want to be in my good side. But sincerity is, people pick it up. People know if you're sincere.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can feel it. Sometimes you cannot explain it logically, but your subconscious knows it. Or
There you go.
Your instinct knows it.
There you go.
Yeah. So since this is the World Gratitude Summit, Brother Bo, are there any particular books that you can recommend when it comes to how we can be more grateful, or aside from evening routine, be grateful? What are the other gratitude practices that you can recommend on a daily basis?
Yeah, maybe not on a daily basis, but I would recommend being grateful to special people in your life. You know, and this is something that I need to do more. But you know, when I express it either through a written note or just going to someone and leaving an email, although a written note is so much better than an email. But sometimes you have so many things to do. But even an email would be powerful, but especially a written note. So it's not a daily thing, but I would recommend that. You know, that just being more grateful to people. It really makes a person's day, and it makes people know that I'm noticed, I'm recognized. So there, when I say that, I'm not an expert. Like I have a long way to go in really being more grateful, but I really try my best to do that. And as a leader, I lead a lot of organizations, and anytime I meet, and the first statement from my mouth will always be thank you, because I have to speak to a lot of people. I have to speak to crowds and to teams and to staff, and so it's always a thank you from my mouth. First, that's the first agenda.
Amazing.
I'll that's my recommendation. When it comes to more personal thing, like you said, a daily thing, it's really something that you have to practice to God. So my recommendation is prayer, and not a daily thing, but maybe how about once a year, once every 6 months, get a nice retreat, where you sit down and then you write down 50 things 100 things. Like go all the way long, you know, and that I'm grateful for. And it's life changing. It's life changing. You actually sit down and you force yourself to write 50 things or 100 things. You know, it's beautiful. It's if you tell, you know, whoever's listening, if you've never tried it, you should.
Thank you so much, Brother Bo. One last question, because I know you're a very busy person, but every time I talk to you, it's like you're not doing anything. Whoever you're talking to, whether it's a big person or person like me starting out, or maybe a janitor or whoever, it seems like you have all the time for that person. You're not in a hurry, but I know you have hundreds of things to do, and also like this, when I ask for your time to do this interview, it's like you have time. So what's your motivation to be able to do this? How is it possible that whoever you talk to, you're able to make that person feel like you have my time? They don't feel like you're rushing them. You have my time. I'm giving my time to you. How is that possible? And also, you have your regular dates with your wife, with your son. So it seems like you have so many things to do, but you're not in a hurry when you're doing it. You're in the moment. So where do you get that motivation, or how do you make that happen?
First of all, thank you for that. That's you honoring me and you telling me I'm really grateful for that. Second thing, I think you're belittling yourself. You are not a small starting out. You know, you're a giant. You're the person who's organized this summit. You've been doing it for some time now. This is your 4th summit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So you already are a giant in this. I don't want to say industry, but you're a giant in terms of serving people. You know.
Thank you.
So don't ever say that. You know, I'm a small person. You've helped so many people. How many people have written to me telling me they've written a book because of you? So it's a lot.
Thank you, Brother Bo.
Yeah. About your question, I think when I was a kid, I had this moment, a realization that every human being is a temple of the Holy Spirit. Is really a child of God, and so I remember riding a cab. I was still a teenager, riding a cab, and then I heard God whisper to my heart, you know, that's my son driving the cab. And you know, since that time, I remember I would pepper him with questions. I would say, so, kumusta ang buhay? Kumusta ang pamilya? O, ilan anak mo? O, kumusta ang pagdadrive? You know? And then he would share and all of that. And then, so even as a teenager, I kind of like realized, wow, I'm in the presence of the divine. In front of any human being, whether he be a CEO of a multinational company or a beggar in the sidewalk, I'm in the presence of the divine, and I should listen. I should, you know, be there and be at awe at God's presence.
So that's how you see people. You're in the presence of the divine. You don't see them the way the society sees them.
Now we're all equal.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Brother Bo. This has been a wonderful interview. I learned a lot from you. If there's one last piece of advice that you can share to our listeners, what would that be?
Understand that you are so loved by God, and when you are grateful every day for the infinite, unconditional love of God, then you'll be okay.
All right. So thank you so much, Brother Bo.
Thank you.
And that ends my interview with Brother Bo Sanchez. And we wish you success, love, and happiness. God bless everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to the Fearless Possibilities Leadership Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I have a small favor to ask. Please like this video and subscribe. It's a simple way to help us reach and inspire more leaders. Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Done? All right, thank you so much. Again, this is Sha Nacino. Stay human and keep unlocking possibilities. See you in our next episode.